Hello everyone, how are you? How's it going? It just started, man. Um, where is this thing? Hey, Teagle, what's up? Thank you, Artemis. Thank you so much. Just finishing checking some things, and we'll start very soon. Hello everyone from Facebook. Nathan, I agree completely with what you said. Definitely one of the best purchases I've ever made. Alex, Bar, Dave, Gerald, Manuel, Juan. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I know that for some of you it's a holiday. For a lot of people in North America, I don't know in other places, but it's still very cool to have you guys here. Davo, saludos hasta Ecuador. Ukraine, Baltimore, wow, this is very international. Carlos, Colombia. Hey Mika, thank you. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, this series, Pass the Sculpt, is a collaboration with a friend of mine, Oscar. He's also from Mexico, and he's also a streamer here with ZBrush Live. And the idea was to take different parts of a model and work them together, like each develop one part. So you can see in there's an image in the stream. It shows the different sections of the body with my initials and his. So we already finished one of those. He worked on the upper head, upper torso, and the legs, and I worked on the lower head, lower torso, and the arms. We already finished that one, and we decided to that we would both do separate renders of it. So it wasn't like it was no use to show that on stream because we were both gonna work separately on that. So today I'm gonna start a new one, and then we're gonna flip the script this time. I'm going to be doing the upper head, upper torso, and the legs, and he's going to be doing the lower head, lower torso, and the arms. Yeah, Siegel, it's like something like an exquisite corpse. It's actually like that, yeah, because I don't know if there's like a specific difference. But yeah, we decided to call this collaboration Pass the Sculpt. It's this is the first time it's been done in the channel, so the ZBrush guy, the ZBrush Live guys loved it, loved the idea, so it went well. The first one was really interesting. So let's see what we can get this time. Let me see. Almost done. Daniel, saludos hasta República Dominicana, Brazil. So okay, so this stream is mainly in English, but if you guys have any questions or comments or anything in Spanish, you can also do it. I'll be talking all the time in English, but I don't mind to just answer some questions or some comments in Spanish. It's totally fine. Para los que estén viendo, el stream va a ser principalmente en inglés, pero siéntanse libres y con toda confianza de verdad de comentar o preguntar cosas en español. Voy a tratar también de contestarlas, pero voy a estar como todo el stream hablando principalmente en inglés. Hey Albert, no, it's not boot time. This is a Pass the Sculpt one. This is a collaboration with Oscar. It's the other series I have. The Majin Buu one is going to be on Monday 2nd. It's normally I would stream on Tuesdays, but for this next week it's gonna be on Monday. I'll let you guys know. Okay, so let's start this. As most of you guys know, we have a new ZBrush, so I don't know how many of you guys have already played with it, but it's pretty cool. A lot of the new tools. For starters, there's no more red wax with the save as startup material, which had that made me very happy. So I just saved my material as a startup one. And then the other thing that's really cool that Pixologic did was to listen to the community about the dynamic brush size, which was very controversial for a lot of people, including myself. I noticed that the people who started using ZBrush before it was introduced didn't really get used to it, and so a lot of people prefer to use, myself included, the dynamic size off in most brushes. So, but the thing is, the last version didn't have a way to turn all on or off, and now they put it in. So that's really cool as well. So I'm just gonna turn off dynamic brush size for everything, and just turn it on for the brushes that I actually need it, which is very useful for curves and like C modeler and other specific brushes. Yeah, rib red wax, you won't be missed. Okay, so just turn off dynamic, and I'm gonna turn on the Sculptris Pro mode. And since I haven't had time to load my interface yet, but I do have my hotkeys. So since this is a new version and they added a lot of new stuff, I'm gonna be rearranging my interface a little bit, so it's okay. I'll be building it from scratch again. But let's put the shortcut for the Sculptris Pro to the I don't know what the name of this key is. The one that's next to the one. Turn it on and off. Wait, what happened? Hey, Mr. Dev, what's up? Okay, so with Sculptris Pro mode on, I'm going to start working on the upper head part of the model. You can see here. Let's do it. I had no idea what I'm going to do. I have no reference. This is all free for all. I had like a very vague idea in my head. The thing is, since this is a oh, cool. Thanks, Mika. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, it's not gonna be a human, that's for sure. Like, I don't know what's up with Oscar and myself, but we always end up doing like creatures, monsters. That's like our thing, I guess. So yeah, I had like an idea of what I want to do, but not like exactly. And the thing is, since this is a holiday, but I still was working all day, so I didn't prepare anything. But sometimes that's the best way. So I'm only supposed to do like the upper head, and this is looking like a neck already. So let's try and create and find a shape that works. Hey Michael, no, I'm not gonna be working the Super Boot today. That's I know it's been really popular but not for this series. This is a collaboration with Oscar, past the Sculpt. So we're gonna be doing like an exquisite cadaver kind of thing. And usually I usually sculpt like really fast for when I'm doing the base concepts and primary forms, stuff like that. Today, for some reason, I feel really calm and I don't want to rush things. I just want to find the shapes, see what works. There's no rush to finish early or anything. We have time. We're just starting. Hey, Sculptman. The move tool? What do you mean the move tool? The gizmo? Or the transpose tool? If you guys can see, since we're using the Sculptris Pro, it's doing the live tessellation thing. So the size of the brush affects the resolution. I like to have this on for now, because if for some reason I want to add detail, like in this part, for example, I can without worrying about resolution. And if I want to do like general big shapes, I also can. So it's pretty great. This is by far my favorite of the new tools they added for this release. I was really lucky. I feel very fortunate to have been in the beta team. I started a bit later, but I was really honored to get to play with these toys early. The Sculptris Pro is really cool. Let me... Hey Alina, what's up? Let me check the Facebook comments. Saludos hasta Argentina igual. Hello from Canada as well. From Montreal. Nice. So what I said about the tessellation, lo que dije del tessellation, perdón, es que el tamaño del brush afecta la resolución que se trabaja en ese momento. Entonces es bastante útil. Y por eso me gusta tenerlo encendido desde el inicio. Hey Emilio, today is in English mainly. Like you can comment and I will be answering questions and stuff in Spanish, but I'll be talking mostly in English. El stream de hoy es principalmente en inglés. Pero de todos modos, ¿tienes alguna pregunta o algún comentario? Hazlo y no hay ningún problema y con toda confianza. So the move brush does not let you enable the sculpt breeze. That's true. The move, that's actually good because you there's like a trick. The move brush is good that it doesn't work with the sculptures mode, because sometimes you just want to move things, and depending on if you're like far away with dynamic off or close or whatever, it can destroy details. But what you can do if you need more resolution or less is to use the snake hook. It doesn't work the same as the move brush. It's actually like much more dynamic, but you can still like sort of move things with it, and it actually updates the resolution. So that's if you want that, that's an option. But I think it's good to that they kept the move without the Sculptris Pro effect. Do I have any tips? Just practice a lot in the beginning. I think in the beginning what's needed the most is to just get used to the tool as soon as possible. Because for a lot of people, it's one of the most difficult interfaces to get used to. So the sooner you stop fighting against the tool and start fighting against the idea or the sculpt itself, I think that's a good thing. And use the tool to your advantage. So that would be my tip, like practice a lot, and don't worry about speed in the beginning. Just worry about making good things and study anatomy. That's really important. Even if you're doing like stylized stuff or cartoon, study anatomy all the time. Creatures, humans, whatever, animals. Wow, so many questions. Actually, it's easier to sculpt in orthographic, but it can cause problems. Thank you for the reminding. Sometimes, like when I was starting with ZBrush, I forgot to turn on the perspective mode, and when I exported things to Maya or any other program, it looked really weird from what I was sculpting in ZBrush because I was using the orthographic mode, but trying to make it look like it was in perspective. So that was a mistake. You have to be really careful with that, and not let it get you. So I have no idea what I'm doing here. How is the cleanup on all those polygons when it goes to print or goes into production for a game? So for a game, what you would do is just bake the high resolution mesh into a low resolution one. So in this case, you would want to have like enough details, enough resolution, so the polygons don't show there. There's a lot of great tools like the Tessimate. I can show you guys those tools later. But usually just like have a high res model and bake it into a low res one. For 3D printing, I don't think it really matters, just that the surface looks clean enough, and that's it. ¿Cómo aprendí inglés? Yo, la verdad, creo que con los videojuegos, con el Nintendo 64 probablemente. Jugando Zelda y Mario. Yeah, no worries. Lots of stuff going on. Hey, Félix, saludos hasta Venezuela, qué buena onda. Brasil, Australia. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm kind of in a fog right now, so I'm going to focus for a few minutes on the sculpt. To try and have something decent. So if you guys can see, I'm not really paying that much attention to the details yet. Like I can create and destroy things pretty easily, and I don't really care about that. Because at this stage, you shouldn't really be thinking about detailing anything yet. This is like the most basic stage of the whole process, so you should be focusing on primary forms, silhouette, and anatomy, basic structure. I decided that I'm going to try to go for like an alien skull kind of thing for the upper head. But I don't want it to look too human. So I'm trying to change it up. What's really cool, I find, about working with ZBrush and stuff like clay, sculpting in general, I mean, as opposed to work from a base mesh, is that there's a lot of happy accidents that occur on the surface when you're just working in a dirty way, that create like interesting details, and you can then choose to follow or not. But I like to do that all the time. So in these first stages, I tried to avoid using too much smooth. I like to use smooth a lot when I'm detailing stuff. I feel it gives me a lot of control. But in these cases, I don't know. Sí, tienes razón, Mario no tiene muchos diálogos, pero Zelda sí, la verdad no me acuerdo, o sea, desde que tengo memoria como que el inglés siempre se me ha facilitado bastante. Y pues ya con las clases de la escuela, como que lo fui reforzando. Siento que ver películas con subtítulos en inglés o series ayuda muchísimo. Y tratar de, o sea, en el cine, tratar de no leer los subtítulos y ver la película sin eso. Yo sé que es difícil, pero porque el cerebro se tiene que acostumbrar a pensar en inglés. Um, yeah, I haven't discarded Dynamesh yet. I still use it for certain things, but I want to be working with sculptures mostly for this one, so you guys can see what's changing. So what's really cool about creatures is that even though they don't look exactly human, we can still find human-like things in them, and that's what makes them creepy, in my opinion. That we can sort of still relate to them. So I'm trying to, even though this is not a human skull, I still try to have something that reminds us of a human in a certain way. I don't know. What do you guys think? Daniel, saludos hasta Colombia. Are you sculpting with a mouse? No, of course not. I'm using my trusty Wacom Intuos 3 La Mil Batallas. That's like the best tablet ever made. I will say it all the time to the death. Hey Daniel, I'm currently working in on animation studios in Montreal. I'm a look dev artist for the Playmobil movie. So it's still it's going to come out next year, so it's still a long time. I think they just already announced it, but it doesn't even have like a title or anything. Sí, Matthews, de hecho, estoy muy de acuerdo con eso. Cuando daba clases allá en México, le decía constantemente a mis alumnos que se pusieran las pilas con el inglés y que tenían que aprenderlo ya. Y esa idea de que no, es que no lo aprendo porque no me gusta, en esta industria era muy, muy estúpida. No tenía caso. No vas a lograr que la industria se adapte a ti, tú tienes que adaptarte a la industria. Y ya es un básico, porque sobre todo esto ya es una industria internacional, o sea, en el último año y cacho he conocido gente de todo el mundo y ya no aplica quedarte como local, sobre todo con el internet y que es como una industria tan digital. Yeah, you should stop sculpting with a mouse. Like seriously, just get a tablet. There's like very cheap ones. The Wacom Bamboo are very like medium range tablets. I like the shape it's taking. Let's check the comments in Facebook. Yeah, I actually do like the Cintiqs. I want to buy one. I don't have much space in my studio right now, and I'm saving. But as soon as I have the money, I will do it. Vixa, are you sure about that? That sounds really unlikely for some reason. Like, do you know who only uses the mouse? Because like everybody I know uses the tablet. You simply don't have like the same response and pressure sensitivity with a mouse. So maybe for like C modeling or C modeler brush or some like very basic functions that don't require actual sculpting, I can probably believe that. ¿Qué onda, Rul? ¿Qué dice la buena vida? Carlos, ¿qué show? Sahid, gracias. No sé si dije tu nombre bien. Qué bueno que andan por acá. Mouse hype. ¿Qué onda, Alfie? Okay, so I'm gonna be using the snake hook, the new snake hook. So you have the normal one, but there's two new ones. The snake sphere and the snake hook 2. Ah, well, there's 3 new ones. The cactus one. The cactus is really fun. But I want to show you guys the 2. And with Sculptris mode, it's actually really cool. Let's go back. Whoa, lots of comments. Hey, Ronaldo. No, just for this one, it's just Sculptris. The new deformers. Okay, how do I say this? There's just a lot of info that I wanna explain. So just bear with me. In this case, I'm working exclusively with the Sculptris Pro because I want to figure out like interesting shapes and detail for the face. The Project Primitive one, my experience with that during the beta testing was that it's really good for very basic primary shapes. It doesn't really work that good for detailing. It can work somewhat good with medium-sized shapes like secondary shapes. So what I would do with that is just create big interesting changes. Of course, I could be wrong. I haven't used the tool that long. I only used it during the beta, but I have been practicing with it. I can show you guys later a little bit with that. So like, for example, just like a very quick sneak peek on that. If we use the project primitive tool, we can deform whatever we're doing underneath, you know? But like I said, it's very simple primitives. So in the case of something like this, I want to make I want to have something more organic. So it's really useful for like creating interesting shapes. Let's try something now that we're here. And increase the blend. Do something like this. So I don't know if you can see like the shape protruding over there. So yeah, for like stuff like this is really useful. For stuff like this, the Sculptris Pro is much more useful. So like the project primitive one doesn't really work that well with small details, but you can make like interesting combinations. I actually like this, so I'm gonna keep it. Just let me read everything. ¿Qué tal, José? Una pregunta. Estoy teniendo algo de problemas a la hora de modelar cinturones y tiras de cuero. ¿Eso te hace que tiene el pequeño pliegue con un remache puesto? No estoy seguro a cuál curva te refieres. ¿Tienes algún ejemplo para poder verlo? Sculpting with a keyboard would be cool. Like just with hotkeys and nothing else. So what method do I use for smoothing? Well, the normal smooth. With Sculptris Pro, if I want to smooth something and it's on, it's going to activate the tessellation. So be careful with that. If I just want to smooth, I'll just I'll just turn off the Sculptris mode and smooth like that, like normal smooth. It will retain the density of the topology. It's okay. If you make a basic shape with a project primitive, do you append the new subtools? No, it's everything from one shape. Actually, it's the one subtool, and I don't even have any subdivision. So if you can see with the polygroup, the new polygroup, it creates a new polygroup every time you insert the project primitive tool into it. So that's really nice. Thank you. Let's see who sculpts with a mouse. That's with a mouse? Holy shit. I have to check that out. If he's that good with a mouse, why suffer like that? I don't know. It looks really, really good. Who knows? ¿Qué onda, Edwin? Saludos. The location of the horns is not good? I'm sorry, man. It's just a sketch. Yeah, I'm not sure about the only mouse thing. Looks really good though. Like the style is really, really nice. Okay, so let's continue a little bit. Of course, you never know. So as you can see, the project primitive one, especially with the blend really high, works really well for organic stuff. So I'm gonna turn off the Sculptris a little bit to just sculpt the borders. have to check that out, because if it's true, then holy shit, respect. I could never do it. What if I want to make a big brush stroke? Detailing in large scale. How would you do that? With an alpha? So let's turn on the sculptures again. Yeah, but if you want, like, you have to use it without Sculptures Pro. If you want, I don't think I exactly understand what you mean. Because if you increase the brush size, it will destroy the details. So in that case, you want to turn it off. Let's use the other snake hook. I'm not sure about this. Turn off adaptive or decrease the subdivide size. But if it has an enormous mouth and you want to detail it, you would want to go small with the brush size, and then just detail it. I think that's like the best course of action for you, because trying to detail everything with a big brush, you have to turn off the sculptures mode, because otherwise it will destroy everything you have. I hope I understood correctly what you mean. The thing with this, it's not like you don't have to feel restricted to always be using sculptures. You can turn it on and off anytime. That's the great thing about it. Hey Marcelo, I didn't see that movie. The new one, you mean? Independence Day, the new one? I didn't see it. I missed a lot of blockbusters from last year. It was last year's, right? Because I was really busy with work, so I didn't go to the movies as much as I wanted. Would have wanted to. separate this part here. Leave this as a separate object for now. We'll do something different here. Gonna put the eyes in because it really helps to have something as a base for the rest of the whoa. So like the rest of the face can adapt to that. Thanks, Metal Gear Mike. MK, sorry, I read that as Mike. Glad you're liking it. So I'm gonna duplicate it and then go to mirror, deformation mirror, then just merge it. Okay, cool. Then I can create the eyelids. Yeah, I really like, I think one of the most flashy features of the Sculptris Pro mode is that to be able to just go crazy with the shapes, you know? Like you can also do that with Dynamesh, but it's much more easier with Sculptris Pro to just create a lot of extrusions and extensions and stuff like that. And I think that's what a lot of people really like about the tool, and I really love that. But I think what I like the most is something really subtle that is like it's not really that flashy, and it's that the idea that I can add detail anytime, anywhere I like, without having to subdivide anything. With Dynamesh, I will have to like create a base first and then subdivide once and start adding details and whatnot. And in here, I can have like as low as this part here for resolution, and then here have a bit more and start working on the parts that I want to detail at the moment. So that's probably my favorite aspect of it. ¿Qué onda, Davo? El conteo de polygroups, no, de polígonos aumenta con el Sculptris. Pues sí, o sea, de hecho hay un límite, pero si en cualquier momento, ahorita les muestro lo del Decimate porque está bastante bien, pero aquí puedes ir viendo, o sea, yo he llegado como hasta 7 millones, no estamos ni en 200,000 y todavía lo logra, entonces sí hay un límite, pero it's not very close. No te preocupes mucho por eso. Let's modify the eyes a little bit. Hmm. So instead of Dynamesh, ZBrush, UV Pose. The new workflow will be Sculptris, ZBrush, UV Pose. I think that times are changing in the workflow department, because now there's a lot of really good tools for many things, and there's not a set way or a correct way anymore of doing just one thing. So, for example, if it is for production for a character, UVs are still important. But if it's for a concept, you can just create automatic UVs without worrying too much about it, and just map procedurals on top. The Sculptris mode, you can still use it on like a base mesh with subdivisions. It would just destroy the. I don't know. Like, can you use it with subdivisions? That's a really good question. Let's try it. So if I subdivide this, I have two subdivisions, and I'm gonna use the Sculptris. No, you cannot with subdivisions. It's not updating. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think for the thing is, during the beta, I never thought of that. I only used it for like with just one level, so it was really useful in that regard. But the thing is, I think you can still do like C-spheres, Dynamesh, Sculptris, Base Mesh, all of those things combined if it fits your workflow. It doesn't have to be either or. I think you can take advantage of everything that's available and then just adapt to whatever it is you need. That's what I really like about ZBrush. It gives like 2 or 3 different ways of doing one same thing, and that's like also true with the workflow thing. So don't feel like you only have to like always do base mesh, or like only use Dynamesh, or like a specific set of steps every time. I think it's really good to have a lot of different tools to work with. What do you guys think? Okay, Ronaldo, let me just read your question. Actually, that's a really good question. Do I find it better to learn when doing small model sketches at a time, or taking on a large model that can last a week or 2 to finish? Actually, I would say like take on a one that lasts like 1 or 2 months even. But the correct answer for me would be both. To work on a really large project that will take you several weeks to finish, while also working on several smaller ones that like can take you from a couple of hours to a couple of days, because you work on different things in each. When I was teaching in Mexico, I did this all the time with my students. So like the final project was this big, huge creature sculpt they had to do, character, with poly paint and surface detail, remesh and whatnot, pose, correct anatomy, and then I would always ask for like homeworks of 2-hour sketches, two per week, and I found that those sketches really helped them improve on their use of the software and their sculpting, like basic sculpting abilities. So that would be my answer. Do both of them. That's a really good question. Thank you, Josh. just check that you don't have like dynamic subdivision on for some reason, because that's like um, that's subdividing your mesh without actually subdividing it. So check that it's here. If you press D without having any um, subdivision level, it used to just go automatically into dynamic subdivision. Now it will warn you, but still maybe you just click yes. So be aware of that. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. I would say Sculpting Pro um, is for just being free. It's like the closest it's been to like actual clay. So this is like the upper head thing. It's gonna have a mouth or a jaw, or I don't know. I'm gonna do the upper torso now to just start sketching it. And for that, I'm gonna be using the project primitive to just take a break from this one. First, let me check the comments. How's everybody doing? Okay. So this is really cool, the Sculptures Pro. I know a lot of people hated the cones during the presentation. I personally really like them. It's I don't know. I've been. It's gonna sound like a commercial, but I swear it's not. I think this is just credit where credit is due. But I really like the the approach and the mindset in which Pixologic creates things, because it takes into account intuition in a way. It's a really creative way of working with interfaces and the way our brains interpret like data and information, I think. So when I first saw the project primitive, I was like, holy shit, what is this? A lot of cones. I didn't understand it. But then your brain starts to absorb it, and it really functions, I think, the way it was intended. Because you start associating different parts of the process with different corners of the cones. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Probably not. So I'll just show you guys what I mean with this. I'll create a first shape, and I'll reset that to a sphere. For this one, I'm going to go like this. So in this case, I don't know if you guys understand what's happening, but what I'm doing is I have the basic sphere. This is the base sphere, and I was projecting the other shape on top of that. So it's creating this sort of bulge. Then I'm gonna accept. For this one, I'm going to change primitives to the second one, which is the same one that I used for the head. But actually I have to concentrate on just like the upper part, because I was thinking on the whole torso thing. just gonna reset this one. Full reset. Wasn't really liking it. I'm gonna activate the X symmetry for this one. It's on the cones in this corner. I actually really like this. Yeah, I like this. This looks cool. As a start, I'm just gonna accept this and reset again. Full reset. So when we're in the beta, they didn't have the full reset, just the normal reset, which is really cool that they added it. Let's say that I have sculpted a character in T-pose only using Sculptris Pro. Okay. How will I pose in my model to 3D print when topology is so messed up? You wouldn't be able to. You have to create a retopo. Like if you sculpt it already in T-pose, I think you have to create a retopo or a remesh, and then have cleaner topology to pose it. I don't think you'd be able to pose, like you can technically, because it's still, you can create masks and stuff like that, but since the resolution is so uneven across the whole thing, depending on the size of the brush you use to sculpt it with, you won't be able to pose it really well. The thing that we did for like the whole models out of one primitive is actually we sculpted them in pose. That's like what it's actually really cool about the Sculptris Pro mode, because let me show you the chimp. So this is the one I did for the challenge, and I actually just I didn't model first the chimp in T-pose and then sat him in the sphere or anything. I actually sculpted him like this while I was creating the shapes. Oh, let me change the song. This is horrible. While I was creating the shapes, I was posing him at the same time. So if you want to create something like the spheres, or like what we did in the beta, or a character with some dynamic movement to it, you should do it in pose already. The T-pose is more of a production thing. If it's going to be rigged, it has to be in a T-pose or a M-pose or whatever it's called. If it's for concept, you can start working in pose or not. It depends. Doesn't really matter. It's actually what works best for you. Was that okay? I hope it was clear, the answer. I just wish that the Gizmo functions like cones. Yeah, I get what you mean. That would be cool. I don't mind the Gizmo as it is right now. I think it's much faster than the transpose, but less precise. The transpose, you could have like a lot of control exactly over what you wanted exactly. I'm gonna create a polygroup here for this ones to just, I'm gonna move them. Whoa. Okay. To move them a little bit so they don't crash with the rest of the head. How do you work with polygroups? Think of polygroups as, I know this is gonna sound really stupid, but of groups of polygons. So if you want to isolate things, like for example here. So the hands were getting in the way of me sculpting the feet. So what did I do? Create a polygroup for the hands. It's not perfect, but then I could focus on anything, something else, you know? So like actually this part here, oh, let me show you. Okay, so it doesn't work the sculptures because it's partially hidden. But if I were to smooth here the feet, they would return to the same sphere. Did you see that? So I actually tried to make it for them to look like it was actually on top of the sphere. I just extracted a little bit and then kept moving it forward so it sat on top of it. And the hands are actually not a part of the sphere because if I smooth them, they're separate, so they're sitting on top of it. But the whole body is a part of it. So it was really, really fun to work on. So yeah, sorry about the rambling with that. So the thing is with polygroups, think of it like this. I created polygroups for the hands, and then I was able to work on the feet without the hands blocking the way. And in this case, when you hide something, you have the active points go lower than when everything is actually on. So it's also useful for when like you want to detail some specific section of the model, you create a polygroup with it, and then you don't have to have the whole model turned on for it to work. You can just work on smaller sections every time. Okay, so just lost my train of thought for a bit. So yeah, I really like the body, how it's looking so far. It just I wanted to create a hole, like a curve in here. So what I'm gonna do is create the shape quite large and increase the blend. So I can do stuff like this, but maybe no, it's too big. I don't know about this one. Oh, this is too much. Do I know of any company that's looking for practitioners? Actually, I don't, man. I don't know. You should just find a studio you want to work on and send them your stuff. Maybe they'll say yes, maybe they'll say no, maybe they won't even answer. You just have to keep trying. Yeah, so sorry about that, man. Yeah, Kyriakos. No worries. Actually, like it depends on what you want to do, because sometimes modeling in pose is not the best approach. Sometimes it would be easier to actually create like a T-pose and then pose, because you can have correct symmetry to work with. So it depends. The thing is, if you want to be working on a T-pose and then pose the thing, you have to have good topology. So you have to either do like retopo, hand retopo, or ZBrush. Actually, ZBrush would be really good for that. How to clean the artifacts on deep creases? I don't there's no trick to that. Just be patient and clean it up. Uh, yeah, like try to work in like, I don't know how to say it, with a purpose. So like for example, if I want to make a crease, I would do first like maybe the bump of the thing, and then maybe the crease. Then one thing you can do is use the inflate. So for this one, I'm going to turn off the sculptures mode, then just inflate it. And that makes it look tighter without actually interfering. So that makes you work like cleaner since the beginning, instead of having to clean it up afterwards. Okay. ¿Qué onda, David? Saludo igual, man. Gracias por pasar a saludar un rato. Okay, so gonna go back to the project primitive. Just okay. Here it is. So I don't know what to do with this one. I wanted to create a curve here, but it's not really working. So what I'll do is to move it here. Why is the rotate not working? I'm just gonna accept it here and create a new one. Hey, I'm glad, man. ¿Qué onda, Juan? Saludos. Creo que mejor en lugar de seguir. Sorry, guys. I think instead of going with the project primitive, I'm going to do a bit of manual work here, just for the curve here. Of course, with symmetry. And then I'm gonna go back to the project primitive. Except, oh, come on. Yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. If you modify the base without the project primitive and then go back to it, it resets. So you gotta be mindful of that. Increase the blend here. Yeah, I like this. I like where this is going. Gonna go to the third one, the cylinder, and just if you guys click here on the purple cone, you can see the actual shape. So it's a mess. I'm gonna reset it, full reset, and go to the third one. So this one is called separate, I think. No, new surface. I always say it wrong. It's called new surface, and you can, if you pull it all the way, you can see the surface extracted from the actual base you're using. So it's easier to see when it's outside of the mesh you wanna work on. And then when you're ready, just return it, and it's all good. Just trying to find an interesting shape. I like this. Yeah, I like this. Cool. Resetear la subtool para recuperar la simetría. Sí hay una forma, pero ya no recuerdo porque tiene mucho que no la uso. Pero algo que puedes hacer es en Geometry, en Modify Topology está Mirror and Weld. Entonces lo que va a hacer es copiar el lado derecho al izquierdo y lo va a dejar completamente simétrico por si llegas a perder la simetría. Es bastante útil. So I still haven't decided if I want the lower, like the torso part to be hard surface or organic, because I can sculpt here, start sculpting things, use it only as a base, and it can work really well. Or I can use it for hard surface purposes. I still don't know. Let me save because I haven't saved. But I don't know. Maybe some parts of this would be interesting in hard surface. I still don't know. When I feel stuck like this, I just like to change sections of the model I'm working on to just refresh a little bit. So let's go back to the face. And to remember, this is just the upper head. Still missing the jaw. This is reminding me of something, but I can't really pinpoint exactly what. It's like an ugly baby with those horrible eyes. But turtle baby, yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's kind of ugly in a nature kind of way. Whoa. Yeah, District 9. I don't know. Trying to rearrange the facial shapes a little bit. I'm not sure. A concept from cloud watching? What is that? Like actual cloud watching from a cloud? Or is that a term for something else? I'm not sure. What am I using for viewing floating references? So, you mean like images on top of the document? Because if that, I use the spotlight. It's very useful. So like you would load an image and then it will appear here. So like, oh no, I've never done something like that. The thing is, I'm usually not with my computer when I'm outside. I said that I like this part, so I'm gonna extract it for to make or shouldn't I? I don't know. No, I'm still not sure if what I want to do with the torso. I thought I was ready, but I'm not. Yeah, well, the thing with the spotlight is you have it right here in ZBrush, so it's better. The bad thing is you can put as many as in PureRef. PureRef is awesome. It's really good. I use it all the time for larger projects. No, it does not feel weird at all. It's actually the same, just with new tools. They don't change the way the basic fundamentals of ZBrush work. So it's actually really the same. And I really like that they never seem to take out anything. They just add more stuff. So even like, for example, if you go to this thumbnail, you can find the 2.5D brushes that almost nobody else uses anymore. You can still find them there. So it's all the same again with new stuff. So it's pretty much the same. Yeah, I don't know. It looks weird. The thing is, without the mouth and the lower, like the jaw or the lower head, it's sometimes difficult to imagine how it would look. I'm trying to leave like a lot of relative space for Oscar to work on. So this is finished. Gonna go back to the gizmo, lower it a bit. I'm imagining him having like a long neck, like maybe being like a long alien thing. But we'll have to see what Oscar comes up with. Is Dynamesh obsolete with Sculptris? No, I wouldn't say so. It's just less prevalent. It's actually like starting to mutate the, instead of being just Dynamesh, like the action of I don't know, drag across the document and then remeshing everything. It's kind of changing into an algorithm for remeshing. Oh, let me just turn on the auto masking, the backface masking thing. So what I mean by this is, like, for example, you have the head here, and let's say I don't like it for some reason and I want to remesh it. So I can use the remesh by Dynamesh modifier. Unmasked. What part was masked? Oh, okay, turn off symmetry. Right, yep. So the remesh by Dynamesh, what it would do is, like, if I turn on the polyframe, here you can set the poly count, target poly count, and with these ones you can put like the reprojection and smoothness values that were present in the old way of doing Dynamesh, like here. So project and polish or whatever. So in this case, if I increase the resolution, this is what it does. So it destroys the detail in some areas, but it respects them in others. So lower values, even lower values. So you can do that instead of using just like to go in the Dynamesh and use that. So super high, even higher than what I had. So yeah, that's what I meant when, like, instead of being just this tool that you always have to manually remesh, there's new ways in which the ZBrush team is integrating the algorithm of Dynamesh into different new deformers or tools. Like, for example, the Tessimate one is really cool. It's under the Dynamesh one. You put it here. Hey, de Juntai, ¿qué onda? ¿Cómo andas? So the Tessimate is really cool because it's actually a combination of decimation and tessellation together. So, like, decimation is actually the process of reducing resolution without losing any detail. So the way it works is you would process the mesh, and then ZBrush would make calculation. You would put like a percentage number, for example, 10% or 20% of the total current resolution you wanted to keep. And then ZBrush would give you that resolution with triangles, trying to keep more tiny triangles where the detail was. And I feel like a lot of you probably know decimation by now, but I just want to explain it for you who don't. And so that's decimation, and tessellation is what I'm doing with the sculptures, so creating more resolution when I need it. What is happening here? It's not letting me into the mode. This is weird. I didn't erase anything. Let me go back in the history a little bit. So it's like here. This is weird. I don't know if the modifier did anything to it. I don't think so. So, well, anyway, that's decimation, and tessellation is what I was doing with the Sculptris promo to create more resolution. So Tessimate actually takes like both things into account and decimates and tessellates at the same time. And so this is the polygon size. You can then just hit it and it will try to do something, and then you can move the slider here and it will update. So like for example here, it created more resolution in some areas and less in others. And it's updating. Not in real time, but like almost. And you can decide if you only want to decimate or if you only want to tessellate something. For now, just leave it at 1 or not use it at all, actually, because I don't really need it now. Let me save again. Why is Sculptors not working? Let me check this one. So it got like stuck. I'm gonna reset ZBrush real quick. Just save this one. Again. That happens a lot, like, or the brushes sometimes stop working and then I just go reset stuff. It's normal. Maveness, do you change the topology with ZRemesh or did they make something new to make topology a bit cleaner? I don't understand the question. I'll read it again in a few seconds. Hold on. Okay, because I don't like the gradient there. Cool, we're back. So, do you change the topology with ZRemesh? Or did they make something new to make the topology a bit cleaner? Do you mean like you're getting errors with the topology on your ZRemesh or what? I forgot to duplicate it. The new retopology tools. But which ones are you talking about? I don't think I understand what you mean, guys. Give some more form to this. Oh, okay. If there are new, no, okay. I think I know what you mean. So, where was it? But like, you mean with ZRemesher? Because it always gives you quads. The only times it gives you triangles is with tessellation or decimation tools. You mean those ones instead of the ZRemesher? So many new names and terms to learn. Hmm, I don't think so. No, I don't think so, man. Well, Dynamesh gives you quads, but not always. It also gives you triangles, and not all the time. So this is the great thing, like the what I was talking about earlier, like the really subtle thing that I like about the Sculptris promo is that sometimes I just like an area and I can keep detailing without worrying about having to subdivide everything. And for example, I don't need resolution here or here right now. So it's great that I don't have to do that in order to just detail areas that I like. It's actually like real clay, guys. No, but it is. It truly is. Hey Josh. It wasn't enabled. You never run into slowdown. Have to decimate to keep brushes like clay below from chugging. Not really, but in that case, I think it might be your like maybe your processor or how many RAM do you have and how many polygons you were doing, because it shouldn't, like ZBrush is made actually very hardware friendly. It works with the lightest Mac Air, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. There must be something else going on, or like maybe your processor is doing something else. Maybe you were doing some rendering, or I don't know. Could be a lot of things. Gonna make like a upper lip thing. This is actually my first time streaming on a Friday evening, Friday night. Well, I know it's not Friday night uh, everywhere where you guys are, but it is here, and most in the US and Canada and Mexico, where a lot of my contacts are. And I didn't expect that many people to show up, but it's really cool. This was supposed to be streamed on Tuesday, but because of the announcement, we had to move it because, well, it's the new version was announced. No, it's not the default one. Actually, I changed it. The default one is this one. The one that gives you like a very hard and jagged surface. I changed it. I use a modified version of it. It's really simple. I actually have that the normal one mapped to my 2 key, the number 2, and then the other one to Alt 2. It's the same one, just change the alpha from the square into the circle, and it makes a much smoother brush, while also keeping the same properties of the clay buildup thing. I actually liked it more. When I first started sculpting, I used the normal one a lot of the time. Actually, I used clay tubes more instead of clay buildup. But I found I could do more stuff with the clay buildup, like with a single stroke, and with the clay tubes you have to like use a lot of strokes at a time. Let's give him some like little horns. No. I created a new brush. So like what I did was clone the brush. Here? No, wait. What did I do? Yeah, I think I cloned the brush and then just saved it in C startup with a new name. So this one is Dam Standard. No, sorry. Clay buildup soft. I put the name Clay buildup soft, and I put it. So I loaded and I saved it in the C startup folder. So every time I open ZBrush, it's here in the brushes. So then I can assign it to the hotkey Alt 2 and the normal 1 to 2. So like what I have with my basic sculpting brushes for a long time now, which I found are really useful, and I don't have to think about that stuff when I'm just sculpting and creating things like quickly. I have 1 for standard, 2 for clay buildup and Alt 2 for the soft version, 3 for move, Alt 3 for move topology. I have 4 for dam standard and Alt 4 for the new dam standard 2, which is amazing. I have 5 for the snake hook. I used to have the crack orbs one, but I changed it because I didn't use that one's that much, and I started using the snake hook a lot more. So 5 for snake hook, 6 for pinch, 7 for the inflate one, and 8 for trim dynamic, and then 9 is quick save. Hey Nicola, soy de México. Saludos de donde sea que seas, hasta donde sea que estés. I don't know. I think so, but I changed it a long time ago, and I don't even remember what those hotkeys did. Like I think one was like repeat action or something. I don't remember. But like that was what made the most sense for me at the time. Like I did that years ago, and it's been so long that I don't see actually myself changing the brushes. Because at this stage, for what I want to do, either sculpting in low res for a concept like making the base or whatever, or detailing stuff at a very high res on a production model, whatever it is, this configuration of brushes works really well for me. And I actually feel really comfortable, really fast when working. Muchas gracias, Nico. Te lo agradezco bastante. Apenas estamos empezando este proyecto. Kane War, no recuerdo ahorita, creo que estaba como en 700, 800 dólares. La verdad, yo lo compré en el 2013. I bought ZBrush in 2013. I think it was the 4R6 or 4R5 version. And I bought it at SIGGRAPH, so it had a discount. It was 500 or something. And it's really cool because all the updates so far have been free, completely free. Like on Tuesday, Paul really scared me because he made a really cruel joke about how things were gonna have to change and whatnot, and then he said it was continue to be free. A lot of people were scared for a moment. Yeah, I knew it was gonna be more expensive with a new version. That's normal. Like every new version always costs a bit more. I think it's like a tiny bit adjusting for inflation, and the other just because it has more features and it has to like adjust the price. That's normal. No, this is not the Boo one. Sorry guys, I know it's really popular, that one. I'm gonna be working on that on Monday. This is the Pass the Sculpt one, a new one I'm starting. It's my collaboration with Oscar. I'm starting a new one today because we finished the last one. Hey Hugo, what's up? Wait for me, man. I'm actually really hungry. Okay, I wanted to show you also a little bit of the Polygroup thing. So I'm going to be using this one. I will duplicate it so I don't lose the original one. And what I'm going to do is there's two ways you can create new polygroups, and it's really, really cool. The first one I really like. I'm just going to use the standard one with the RGB turned on. I'm going to turn off the CAD for a little bit and just increase. No, wait, I'm going to be painting with black. So color, fill object with white, and then change to black. And what I'm going to do is just paint the creases or the borders wherever I want to. For this one, I'm going to activate the dynamic to have the brush size consistent. And I'm just going to apply the paint to the areas I want to keep as new polygroups. Yeah, it's actually incredible what they do. Like considering what other like migrating from when I bought ZBrush, the main model was just standalone licenses, which were super expensive for other companies. And ZBrush was offering free upgrades since the beginning of time. And then when a lot of companies started to change to the subscription model, me and a lot of other ZBrush artists were afraid that they weren't going to like at least do the same or at least start charging for this new version again. Because it, like, I don't know. I think it made sense. But those guys are really special in that sense. Like they really care about the community and the tool they make. It's much more than just a software. What I really liked about being in the beta was that they were super close with the artists working on the beta. Like whenever we reported something, they always answered like immediately, and they were very helpful in trying to figure out the problems, if there were any, and they always kept track of what everybody was doing, and so those guys really love their craft. So I respect them a lot for that, and I'm very thankful for the product and for the support to like myself and the community in general. Yeah, the subscription. I hate the subscription model. I know it makes more sense for them because, but I don't know. I hate it. Like with what the Substance guys are doing, I think it's good. The algorithmic Substance Painter, Substance Designer. It's actually like a subscription model for just for 1 year, and after that they offer you the option of buying it for like a very low price, very low price. I don't remember how much, but like you've already paid for a subscription for a year, and then you can just pay a little bit extra, and then it's yours. Of course, that's only for that version, I think. I don't think it's like after that like lifetime free updates like ZBrush, but it still is a nice touch on the formula, I think. Yeah, no, I know. The thing is, when I bought it, the US dollar versus the Mexican peso um, was not that high. It was much lower, and the price was lower, and it was at a discount at ZGraph, so it was not that much for me as it is now. But like for all the things ZBrush lets you do, it's actually really worth it if you're like an independent artist, if you're gonna go freelance or do your own projects or whatnot, and having the support of the official product is really good. So if I were to buy one software, just one, it would be ZBrush for sure. But that's for me. Like it can change for different people. Maybe you don't need sculpting that much. Maybe you need more texturing or I don't know, procedurals or whatever. So I'm just cleaning up a little bit here. Hey nerdy gamer, I have a MSI laptop. I don't remember the model. GE73VR. It's a gamer's laptop, but gaming gear works really well for 3D. So I have an i7 processor. I think it's 6th gen. The graphics card is a 1070 GTX, and the RAM is 16 gigs, I think. And I have to. It's really good. It's really powerful. The thing is, I have a desktop at home in Mexico, but since I just moved to Canada, it was like it was very cumbersome in the beginning to move all that. It's not to mention expensive. So I decided to go with the laptop for now, and then decide what to do with the desktop later. Yeah, that one. Exactly. Thanks, man. No worries. What am I making? Paula, I'm making an alien creature. It's a collaboration with Oscar. It's called Pass the Sculpt. So if you see in the screen, there's the layout. We have the blue are going to be the areas I'm gonna work on, and the yellow brownish things are the ones Oscar's gonna work on. And then we're exchanging It's like an exquisite cadaver. We already finished one, and I'm starting a new one. So I'm making the top head and the upper torso things, and it's going to be back and forth between our streams. Hey Travis. Hello. Nice to see you here, man. Yeah, the GPU prices are insane, I agree. The good thing with the laptops is that it's built in, so it comes with everything, but if you're only like going for the like the part, it's insane, the price. And the thing is, it's so since real time is gaining a lot of traction, and in the future I think it's going to be even more prevalent, and the VR is really growing and stuff like that, so it's really important to have a good GPU. But yeah, exactly. ZBrush is CPU based. You don't need GPU. If you're only working with ZBrush, you don't need to worry about GPU. But if you're gonna go with, for example, Mari and Substance for texturing, or you want to work with VR or certain render engines that use a lot of GPU, then you have to take that into consideration. So I work in Look Dev, and I work with Mari and Substance all the time, and so that was very important for me to have a good graphics card as well. Yeah, no worries. So okay, the first thing I want to show you after painting this, if you go to the Polygrouping thing, which is in C plugin, Polygroup it, you have the option from Paint, create polygroups from Paint borderless. So if you click this, that's why I create a safe copy. Actually, let me just delete this one and duplicate again the painted one. So C plugin, polygroup it from Paint, and here it says waiting for polygroup to finish. Well, yeah, the polygroup it plugin, the actual new window that pops up, that's GPU. Yeah, you're right. But it makes sense because GPU is only getting more important with time. So you're still on 4R7. 4R7 is really good. 4R7 was a very stable release and a very long one, I think. Like, I think 4R8 lasted less than a year, a little bit less than a year. I still remember the announcement of that one. But I don't remember the 4R7 one. So I don't know. With Smicha, the one who built Vitali's computer? Yeah, no. I don't have... Yeah, I remember that computer. I remember the day he posted that on Facebook. It was insane. I think it was like 7 GPUs. 7 GTX, right? Or was it 11? I don't remember. But it was like insane. And he also like, I remember in Instagram once he shared his specs and he had like 128 RAM or something. It was, that guy is crazy. That guy is not human. So, okay. We had this original piece and then we painted over it with, oh, I forgot. Okay, sorry about that. That's why it was slow. I painted with the sculptures mode on, which is fine. I mean, it's okay. But this gave us different polygroups wherever we painted with the tool. So this is a really cool way to make hard surface really fast. This is the first method that I wanted to show, and the second one, let's just turn off the color for now and turn off the. Let's do Decimate. Actually, let's go back, duplicate it again, and then go back in time and the other one to because since I was working with the sculptures mode on, I didn't notice, and I wanted to have back the complete shape. Yeah, that's the thing, Nerdy Gamer. So a lot of the most popular render engines are use graphics card. Hey Limbacero, hope you like it. It's a really nice version. I actually never tried Octane before. I was thinking of give a Unreal a try before as the next engine that I wanted to learn. But Octane is sounding really nice, and Redshift as well. I don't know, there's like a lot of new stuff to learn these days. Okay, so I'm just going back here to get back. Cool. So I have that one. Let's save that one, and the old one, and the new one with the correct polygroups. Okay, so in this one, what I'm gonna do is just use the damp standard, and I'm just gonna cut. Okay, I need more resolution this time. Okay, so I'm gonna cut instead of painting. There's two ways of doing that. So whatever works best for you, but you can cut just to make sure, like it's not exactly necessary to cut, but the program reads it better. I found it. If you make things super obvious for the polygrouping thing, it will work best. So just cut it. And remember, this is like, I don't know, I think it works best. I don't want to say it was meant, because I don't want to presuppose that, if it was meant for something or not. But in my experience, it works best when you focus on the primary shapes, not so much on like small details. Hey Travis, yeah, thank you. Actually, we finished the first one, and so Oscar and I are gonna build like separate renders of the same creature, and after it's done, we're just gonna post it online. Thanks for your kind words, man. Really appreciate it. It's actually been pretty cool to stream with Pixelogic. I used to teach in Mexico. I was a teacher for a little more than 2 years, and this is like the same in a way, without grading homeworks and assignments and stuff like that. So in a way, it's better because I can give like the class without the boring stuff. Hey Santiago, ¿qué onda, men? ¿Cómo andas? Vi que estabas streameando también, pero ya no pude porque me movieron el stream por el anuncio del martes. Entonces me tocó darle ahí un rato. Yeah, you can make polygroups by masking actually. You just like if you go anywhere and just click with a mask, Control W, you can make a new polygroup like that. And even if you change like to the lasso, to the mask lasso, so you create a new polygroup, Control W, just like that. It's really easy. So, but for this case, we already covered the paint method. So I'm gonna use the polygroup it. So I'm gonna go ZBrush, polygroup it, and then you guys can see that, right? So in polygroup it, what I would do is just place small spheres, and then move this slider a little bit just to the surface, like the sphere covers the surface up until the point where it finds like a crease, and then it stops. So in this case, for example, it's not enough what the cuts we did, so it has to be I had to do it like sharper for it to work. but in this case it's working really good. So I'm just going to activate the like the phantom symmetry thing it has, and then apply it. Then just put it one here. Whoa. Apply, no. Put one here. And actually missed this part here. Not so much. So that's the general idea, the very basic idea. And then after that, if you're happy with this, you just extend it. And if you create the seams right, well, in these cases, the creases here down under were not working really good. So, but if you see, like here on top, let me just frame this. It actually like blended really well with the cuts I made. So if I hit OK, just go back to ZBrush, and then I have those poly groups where I cut, and then I can just separate them and whatever, do different things. So I use that a lot for the image that I created, and it was like a lot of trial and error because I had to figure out a way for polygrouping to work for me. I was trying to make it do a lot of complicated stuff in very specific and small and high frequency details, and it was like not working at all. So yeah, a lot of trial and error, but in the end it worked fine for me. Sí, están bastante buenas las nuevas herramientas, ¿no? El Polygrouping. ¿Qué onda, amor de carne? ¿Cómo andas? Hey, José, hello. Davo, ¿qué onda? Saludos a todos. Let me save again. Turn everything on. No, I actually use the keyboard a lot. But like with the tablet, I know there's some tablets that you can like map specific actions to the buttons. Mine doesn't have that many. It only has 4 buttons and a scroll space. But you actually use the keyboard all the time, especially because you need Alt to navigate and Control and Shift. Like that, those are the most important keys while working with ZBrush. And I have my brushes in the numbers, and yeah, so a bunch of stuff. Hey Titiritero, I'm from Mexico. Nice to meet you. Hey Pedro, yeah, okay. Thank you so much for watching. I know it's late for some of you guys. Thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Take care. We'll see you around, man. Okay, so let's turn off these two. So after creating the polygroups, what I want to do is I want to remesh by Dynamesh. Or, okay, I don't know. Maybe I can try the remesh stuff. If I want to separate this, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Especially since the topology changed a lot with the sculpt trees. But what I can do is to go, well, first, since I didn't have symmetry with this one, I'm gonna first group these things together. To have symmetry on the same polygroups. Okay, so this, okay. And then what I can do is I can go remesh every part by separate, and then create, because if I want to create the thing is, it was a mistake. I painted with the sculptures mode on, so it added a lot of geometry where I didn't need that. But if I added like group loops to this, it would actually create a lot of resolution on the borders, and I don't want that. So what I can do for this one is, like, for example, take this piece and then just create normal C remesh, or even like not even C remesh. Like I can do, let's try the let's try this. I'm gonna separate this in polygroups, group split. Where is everything? Okay, so this one, I'm gonna use the remesh by Dynamesh. No. And just test it. But it's actually creating the artifacts. Okay, so what I have to do first is actually create like an edge loop. So I'm gonna go to edge loop and a group loop. I'm gonna reduce it to 2 and create a group loop. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really small. It's here. Hey Brendan, what's up, man? Yay, ZBrush 2018, finally. So in this case, what I will do is just create that, and then just mask the thing, invert the mask, and extract it, just to give a little bit of thickness. I could extrude it with the C modeler, but it would be not very practical. So then after that, I can just use the modifier the remesh by Dynamesh, and it closes the holes. So this is a nice way of like creating plates and shapes. Are you watching on your cell phone or what, man? C4D, what is that? So yeah, well, as I was saying, this is a really cool and easy way to create plates. And then after this, you can create there's a new algorithm for the, what's it called? I forgot the name. Group by normals. Is this one. So if you click it, so it's working in some areas. Here, not so much. Would have to find an exact angle. No, in this case, little. Yeah, no, not working really well with this. We could also try like the old school way, which is probably what we would work best with this piece, which is just to go create the edge loop, the group loop, sorry, just to be able to smooth it, and then go to the deformation and do a polish by groups, so the borders smooth a little bit, and then do a traditional C remesh. So like I'm just gonna try with this one, see how it does. Yeah, you're right, Brendan. You're right. I forgot about that. You man, I have to practice my hard surface techniques a lot. I will try that in a sec. So because that gave me a lot of issues. But what Brendan is saying is right. So like if I go with the selection, Control Shift, and then select the slice curve. This one. I'm gonna put it in orthographic too. Yeah, that's what I like about ZBrush. Like there's so many ways to do things. Like at least 2 or 3 different ways of doing the same thing. It's really useful and really cool. So right now it looks like I didn't do anything, but what I'm actually doing is just slicing to create more polygroups. So and in the end I can just take the original one and it has like super clean borders. I forgot about this tool. Thank you so much, man, for reminding me. Yeah, I tried that, but it's like trial and error. Like when I was doing when I normally do like with hard surfaces, a combination of all those. Sometimes I do Z-remesh, sometimes I do edge loop with extrude, sometimes I polish by hand, sometimes I use Z-modeler. So it's like there's no limit to what you can do with this. The thing is, I'm still not that good with Z-modeler, so a lot of the things I want to do feel more I don't know how to say it, easy for me to do first, like with organic, and then just from that base try to extract the pieces, you know. Hey, ¿qué onda, Alex? ¿Cómo andas? Saludos, men. So just checking that everything is fine the other side. Así andamos todos, man. What? The new cones, they give you superpowers, man. So I just hit everything and then delete hidden. Man, I miss my interface. Modify topology, delete hidden. Okay. So then after this, I can just go to panel loops. Just gonna put the polish to 0 and the loops to 3. Then increase the thickness. There's still some fishy going on there. It's because of this weird topology in the edges. So in that case, I still need to do first a group loop. So I have cleaner topology in the border, and then the panel loop. Wow, not working. Ice cream. José, ¿alguna manera de unir dos subtools que tienen distintos niveles de subdivisiones? No, pasa justo lo que dices. Como las vas a unir, tienen que ZBrush mantener una, o sea, no, es que como no podría reinterpretarlo de esa manera. ¿Cómo le harías? En el mismo control tendrías que tener las dos y no se puede. Entonces, si tienen diferentes niveles, una va a perder algún nivel. Lo ideal es hacerle un merge cuando tengan el mismo nivel de subdivisiones. O lo que podrías hacer es duplicar las originales, juntar las copias y reproyectar sobre el nuevo subtool que tiene las dos juntas la geometría de las anteriores. O sea, tendrías, haz de cuenta, el subtool A y el subtool B en alta definición, las dos, la primera en el nivel 4 y la segunda en el nivel 5. Las duplicas, las juntas y en baja resolución te vas subiéndole desde abajo, proyectando el detalle para que lo conserves. O también puedes añadir más subdivisiones a la que tiene menos también. Yeah, I tried to do the zero mesh, but it wasn't really working, and I didn't want to bore you guys with a trial and error with the settings, because that stuff can get boring pretty quickly. So that's usually what I would work off the stream. Yeah, but the panel loops is not really working either with the group loop. Whoa, no. What is happening here? 0.01. Okay, then maybe I'll put a little polish in here. Yeah, I think it was that. I took out all the polish, but still not working with the group loop. So yeah, this is one way in which I would create like plates, and then if you turn on everything again, you have like this thing, and then you can, I don't know, project, use alphas, use booleans, sculpt, do a lot of stuff. Yeah, I didn't want to do the zero mesh, man, because I didn't want to bore everything. I mean everyone with that. Wow, this is actually shorter. What happened here? I think I cut it since the, yeah, with the slice. I can just delete hidden. Duplicate it, mirror, and then merge. I'm not working with my interface because I didn't have time to set it up. I was working on some other stuff today. Mask selected all, then extract with thickness. What do you mean? Like mask all, and then extract with thickness. Okay. Yeah, meh. I don't know. I don't really like the extract that much. It's useful sometimes. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I actually like, I don't mind the normal interface because I used to teach. So for like the beginners, I always use the normal interface so they first learned where all the stuff was. This is the old interface actually. And so yeah, I'm used to it. It's just that I don't like it. And since they changed stuff, like they added the sculptures and they keep dynamic brush size and stuff like that, and the remember brush size, I want to create it from scratch again. Like, well, not from scratch, but like pimp my old one. So I haven't had time to do that. So I'm working on the default one for now. Yeah, oh, I know. I understand what you mean. Sorry, I didn't get what you said earlier. With every new version of ZBrush, the custom interface, there's something wrong with it. It's because they add new stuff and then they replace a lot of maybe the buttons or whatnot. So it never works exactly the same. So I'm gonna continue working on the upper part here, but you guys can see how powerful and useful the polygroup feature can be. So like for this thing, it gives you really clean polygroups and topology. And maybe for this one, actually, like the best course of action would be to do a quick retopo by hand and then just smooth. I don't know. Like Brendan said, there's a lot of different ways of doing the same process or approach it from different directions. You can load the old UI if you start ZBrush with default. No, yeah, I know, but what do you mean the old UI? This UI, like the default one? Because I meant that when I loaded my custom UI, there were like some buttons weren't there, and you have to check what changed from version to version. I'm gonna do that tomorrow probably. I'll return to the normal pen. Yeah, so what's really cool about the interfaces in ZBrush is that everything from the interface is found in these menus. You just have to know where everything is. So like the transform has a lot of the right hand side stuff here. Materials, brushes, preferences also has a lot of stuff. Like the tool, this one is here. So you can find everything from the tool palette in here. It's really useful. It's a really cool way to organize stuff, I think. Let me see the comments here. Extract. So I like the upper head part. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this. Probably not. But I like the way it's like I don't know, like a human dolphin alien hybrid thing. It's really cool. So I lost symmetry there for a while. I don't know what happened. Let me just go to the mirror and weld because it's in the back. Yeah, I moved something. So I want this part to be like organic looking, but still not sure what part I want it to be bone and one I want to be like flesh. Still deciding on that. You can still do that in these versions, Cindy, with the gizmo. It's actually the same thing. So you select the gizmo and then just click Control and hold it, and you use the topology for masking. And just that in this case the topology is like a mess, but you can still do it. That's great for posing, actually. So I'm gonna work without the sculptures for a bit, just to try and decide what to do here. All right, forgot. I think I want this to look like skin folds on top of bone, some sort of bone. But I don't know, there's still a lot of things I'll be changing, and since like this is what is really cool, and what happened last time was that so like for example, Oscar worked on his part first, and then I worked on my parts first, and then when Oscar went back to it, he started looking at his pieces with fresh eyes and changed a bunch of stuff, and then it was my turn again, and it happened the same, so I changed a lot of stuff. So this might not stay exactly the same. It's always a work in progress, and last time the model like it kept changing a lot, and in the end the creature was really cool. I really like the end result. It's pretty chaotic, but it's really nice. Same in here. Hey Graham, you still haven't gotten your download link? That's really weird. I know a lot of people had trouble with that, but I got mine like really really easy. Just change the license thing, and then I got the email. I'll do some volumes here. I'm really liking this like bony, fleshy look lately. I don't know. I feel like if I'm not working with a reference, I'll just be creating like a lot of weird stuff. And then it's sometimes difficult to take it back into reality and make it work somehow. But I think that's sometimes the fun part. I didn't really like how it was looking here, so just getting rid of it for a while. And I think I've just modified this one as well. So remember, this is only the upper part of the face. This is not like the complete mouth, just like the upper lip. If it even is a lip, I don't know. But yeah, for those of you who say the cones are intimidating, just be patient. Just practice with the thing. They won't be much after that, I promise. It's actually really cool. It's actually a tool that I remember when the C-Modeler came out, it took me a lot of time to start using it. Like I didn't use it for quite some time after it came out. And then with the booleans, it was the same thing. I used it for a while, didn't really get into it that much. And then when I actually wanted to start learning them, I discovered the potential. But with this one, I really want to from the beginning. And I at least feel comfortable with it right now. That I don't want to I don't have to struggle with the tool to do what I wanted to do, and you know, I can concentrate on making the things. Hey Siegel, thanks. Take care, man. Thanks for watching, for hanging out for a bit. See you next time. Take care, man. So I'm really liking the. Actually, I know what this reminded me of now. It's like one of those weird aliens from Star Wars. I don't know. I don't remember the name of that one. But it has like that cow vibe to it. So what happened there is that I reached too many undos, and then it's going to start deleting the old ones, which is okay. Doesn't matter. Hey Adam, thank you so much, man. Yeah, sometimes it helps to change the matcap to like really see the details. I don't really like this one for organic stuff, but I really like it for hard surface stuff. Sometimes I just like the basic one, or the matcap gray is also really good. I'll keep using this one. Just need to figure out what to do with the face. Yeah, I know, man. I know. No, I think it's a shame because I don't know. The design, even though it looks like the character is like goofy and stupid, I think if people didn't know about the character or didn't have knowledge of the films, they wouldn't mind the design so much. I think. I don't think it's that bad. Just trying to get a feel for like how it looks from a distance. So did you guys go to work today? Because it's a holiday here. But I still had to work and other stuff, so it was actually better to have the time. Hey Cindy, yeah, no worries. It's just that I think one day I just tried it and it worked, so kept using it. I'm gonna use the transpose master. It's very dense. Oh, hope it doesn't crash. That would be very embarrassing. Oh, come on, what's taking you so long? So for April, I'm gonna use this moment to do a shameless self plug. For April, the dates I'll be streaming with Pixologic are again on Tuesdays, except for next week. So on let me see. Tuesdays, the 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th are the ones I'll be streaming with Pixologic. Except for the 3rd one, I'll be streaming on Monday instead, the 2nd, because I had a thing on Tuesday. I had to change it. But so just the same time as today, 6:30 EST, 3:30 PDT. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, I know. I'm actually like, this is a funny story. I'm trying to go caffeine free for 2 weeks, and I think I picked like the worst time to do it because I have a lot of work, and I decided I will be doing like no tea, no green tea, no black tea, no coffee, no Monster, no Coke, just water. And it's been since Monday, so 5 days now. It's interesting. So this thing got stuck. Oh, come on, man. Why are you doing this to me on stream? Yeah, so it's going good, but just drinking a lot of water to compensate. So we'll wait for ZBrush to revive. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah, it was actually like really difficult because I've reached a point in which I was averaging like 5 or 6 doses or drinks, caffeinated drinks a day, like between Monster and coffee. Like I don't usually drink like Red Bull or Monster and stuff like that, but because I had to pull several all-nighters recently, I had to, and then I was drinking a lot of coffee and Coke and Monsters sometime. Yeah, ZBrush survived nice. So I said enough. I had to cut it a bit. I'm gonna try for 2 weeks, and then the first 2 weeks were horrible. The first week, the first day, sorry. After like 7 p.m. I had like a huge headache, and I was nauseous. I felt like vomiting when I was in the train. It was fun. But like today it's been nice. I mean, I slept good yesterday. It's been good. No worries there. Yeah, I used to drink like not only coffee. I usually, well, probably like 4 or 5 coffees and then one Coke or one Monster, stuff like that. So I used to drink a lot. I really like coffee, and I used to drink it all the time. Those water bottles that have time scale. I didn't know those existed. Do you know, like, do they sell those in Amazon or stuff like that? So I can check them out? Or what's their name? No, I hate that. I refuse to drink decaf. I don't know why. It's maybe just a stupid reason, but I feel like it doesn't taste the same. So if it's not the real stuff, I might not bother at all. Yeah, actually, Mexican Coke is really good. Since every time I went to the States, and now that I live here in Canada, it's I really miss it because they actually use a different sweetener. I'm not exactly sure what they use, or if it's like high fructose corn syrup, or I mean, it's really bad for you, but it's really good. Tastes really good. Thanks, man. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, a bunch of friends at work decided they would join me on the no caffeine for 2 weeks, and then they had to fold like at the second or third day and start drinking coffee. I mean tea, at least. At least it's not coffee. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably it's cane sugar, but it does taste different. I think it's finally starting to take shape, at least here in this area. Here, I'm still not so sure. Also here at the top, like it's a skull kind of thing. But I really like at least this part here. Motivational straw sports water bottle. Nice. Sounds really cool. Actually, for like, I don't have a water bottle, so I just buy one from the pharmacy and keep refilling it every time until it either breaks or I lose it somewhere or forget it somewhere. So last time I went to the movies after work and forgot my bottle in the theater. Had to buy a new one. But it's cool because like it's just like a cheap plastic bottle. But this one sounds nice. I'm gonna check it out after the stream is done. And I might consider it because I mean I don't struggle to drink water. I really like water. That's no problem for me, but just to be able to see how much I'm drinking and the time, that's really cool. And a plus for this whole now coffee thing is that I can no longer stay up as late as I used to. Like this week, I couldn't hold that long, so I had to go to sleep, and I've been sleeping really good. So I know we're used to be working a lot and pulling all-nighters and staying up really late, drinking lots and lots of coffee in this industry and sitting all day in front of a computer and stuff like that. If anyone is struggling to sleep, to have a good night's sleep like I was, might try it for like 1 or 2 weeks to just get off the edge a little bit. Might work, I don't know. Everybody's different. Water, am I a plant? Yeah. Yeah, like it's really yeah, no worries, man. I understand. No, it's really cool. It's actually really cool when you it's a thing from that I even remember from childhood, to just getting lost in the shapes or the lines when I was drawing, so that when I'm in Maya, like for example modeling, or in ZBrush sculpting, those two things, modeling and sculpting, I can just be there forever. It's usually the things when I have to read or think. I don't know, like maybe things sound bad, but like for example, if I'm I don't know, exporting channels in a texturing program, or doing shader work in the rendering something, moving values or stuff like that, that's usually I get bored a lot easily there than just sculpting or modeling, or like thinking in shapes and colors. Hey Johnny, what's up, man? ¿Cómo andas? yeah, I'm finally happy with the front face. I didn't really like the nose before. I think it's cool now. Might still change some stuff later, but not too much, I think. The back still needs more work, and the body is just the base. Cool. ¿Qué dice el buen Eder? ¿Cómo se porta? Ya ni nos escribe nunca el güey. That's also like a bit of a weakness of mine is that sometimes I can get really obsessed with details and spend a lot of time on a sculpt. Like my girlfriend always tells me, stop obsessing, just finish the thing. And she has a point, because otherwise I can just stay there forever. Hey, thank you so much, Jamie. No, actually, I have no reference at all. It's just from my imagination, I guess. I wanted to create something that looked human, but then that changed quickly, as you can see. And then I used the project primitive here for this shape, and then it got lost in the ether. I don't know. Sometimes I just start sculpting something and I like where it's going, and then follow those shapes, follow that idea into something. If it works, I keep pushing it. If it doesn't, I change it. And I try to, like, even if I exaggerate things a lot, I try to at least keep like a base structure of things, anatomical structure, so it at least makes sense. But thank you so much, man. I'm gonna save here. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Even though it's a holiday, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your kind words and support. And also it's a Friday, so even better. I'll see you guys on Monday with the Majin Buu sculpt that a lot of people have been asking me about. So that's one. It's gonna be in Spanish. And then this piece is going to continue with Oscar on the, let me see. He's gonna sculpt with this on the 8th, I think. No, wait. On the 5th. Thursday, 5th of April. And so he's gonna be sculpting the lower head or jaw, and the lower torso and arms, and I'll be doing the legs as well. Thank you so much, guys, again. Really appreciate it. Take care. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can reach me in Facebook or by mail. I try to answer everything. Really appreciate it, guys. Take care. See you next time. Go for a drink or something, or a rest. You guys deserve it. It was a very tough week. Take care, everybody. See you next time.